should be recording.
Boom! That's a nice opening. Alright.
Okay, people, we're back playing Prototype because I want to do a few hours of a deconstruction of Devil May Cry, and so this is sort of a appeasement to Kalen for having to sit through that.
Oh, I see. Right, I didn't realise.
So,
Alright.
we might have to try and limit the amount of pauses, but I don't know how to do that because I'm the worst at it. It's for sitting there just going...
Going,
Because I had to do quite a bit of editing, which, I enjoyed, so, it's not that bad. Alright, just let me open the video, the thingy, the group chat, the thing on my phone.
Yeah.
I've been busy moving house, viewers, listeners. So, if we have any devoted fans, which I doubt, like the one of you, then I apologize, and I'll upload more videos shortly.
I'm totally a devoted fan.
Fuck off, you are.
Hey, this looks looks like it should be destructible.
That's because it is, I think. Maybe not. That's for the Happy International Women's Day. I did think that when you...
Alright, let's do it. Happy International Women's Day. Let's go kick some ass.
I first had that thought when you were plunging your fist through her chest.
Oh. Yeah, okay. So this might not be the best connotations that I have in fact consumed her entirely and taken on her form. But that's just because I'm jealous, really.
Yeah.
Oh no. Now I'm gonna... No, okay. I'm just gonna...
Just peg it.
Oh, I meant to.
Take that, you white privileged motherfucker.
Alright, where's a pretty lady? Where's a pretty lady?
There's a pretty lady.
Alright.
Yes. Oh!
Old man
Was a pretty lady.
curb stomped her.
Oh, there we go. Back to a pretty lady.
Alright, pretty lady. Happy International Women's Day.
Wearing a nice coat. Okay, let's find some topics. Here's an interesting one. Man who allegedly pretended to be a doctor worked in New South Wales hospitals for over a decade.
Yeah, including like Gosford, and I think my wife actually did work placement there when she was doing her nursing. So, I think
Does make me go, I never thought I was intelligent enough to be a doctor. But apparently all you have to do is wing it.
you just got to steal some Indian doctor's identity.
Mm.
And go nuts.
He is accused of stealing a doctor's name and medical qualifications while in India before moving to Australia and becoming a citizen. And he's currently on the run.
It's kind of strange though. Like one of the only things that made people clue in on it was his relationship with patients. So he was must have had a terrible bedside manner or something. You would think that if you were under an assumed identity as a doctor, that you would just try and be the nicest fucking guys and nobody ever looked into you.
Also, for impersonating a doctor for 10 years, his punishment is a $30,000 fine.
What?
A man is facing a $30,000 fine after allegedly masquerading as a doctor at New South Wales hospitals for more than a decade.
But who knows what kind of untold damage he's done? He could be up for manslaughter. Who knows?
Well, clearly 10 years it couldn't have been too bad. Pretty sure if most people were dying under fucking whatever his name was, then Shyam, then you would think, are your qualifications real? This is written on the back of a bar coaster. To find work in Australia, he allegedly used fraudulent documents to gain registration with the Medical Council of New South Wales in 2003. Worked at Manly Hornsby, Wyong, and Gosford hospitals under the name Sarang Chital.
Sarang Chital.
Real name is Shyam Acharya. Acharya. I don't know how to pronounce that.
Uh-oh.
As a junior doctor, he was under the supervision of other clinicians.
Yeah, right. So, yeah, as a junior doctor. Right. So, yeah.
Like, either he had a natural, talent for it, or these people just had no idea what they were doing. They just too focused on their work to notice that he wasn't doing a very good job, or shit.
Well, and I think the article stated that he did, in fact, undertake medical training in India before he stole the person's identity. So he had. It's not like he was just some Joe Blow off the street either. Like, he did actually have some medical knowledge. I can't remember how to. Oh, yeah. BB. B. All right. Yeah. So, but
no complaints were ever received from the hospital.
Oh, okay. Oh, because I thought it was one instance that he did get reported that led on to them discovering other instances, but maybe not.
I'm having a read.
I was listening to it on the radio. But...
No, the crackdown on fake passports. Mr. Hazard said he was also directing. Yeah, it doesn't say, like, how they found out in the first place. Maybe it was this crackdown on foreigners that we're currently getting.
Yeah. Does anybody else find it slightly embarrassing that Donald Trump finds our immigration policy, like, admirable?
Yeah.
I straight away start to feel like ashamed of myself. Yeah. Wow.
I apologise, viewers and listeners, because I tend to be very facial in my emotions, and like I express it in my face. I don't tend to speak a lot. And just the look of disappointment that I just sent to Caleb, I apologise that wouldn't come across to you. But yes, I've always found it a bit rough. Particularly our bid to get into the the UN convention, a seat on the council at the Human Rights Convention, and they're always just like, you just treat foreigners like shit. Like you can't have a seat here.
Yeah.
So we'll never get a seat on the council until we get rid of the Liberal Party. But even then, like, it's not like the UN does much these days anymore.
Some hood running across the roofs. Yeah.
Leaving a trail of bacteria by the looks of it.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I can't see what actually,
Oh, how come they stop when you hold on to them?
Oh, this is something that you were going on. Okay, we got a fairly... Well, that was an interesting topic, not really a depressing one. So I'll withhold that. There's just Bill Nye fucking... It's just not good to watch Bill Nye and people like him, like Neil deGrasse Tyson, and what's that fucking band fella's name? You know, the one that our lesbian friend likes.
Oh no. Why did I forget his name?
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox, yes.
See him, and you just like, consume him. Skip, Passay. Yes. Just see them school climate skeptics. Because there's a video of him. There's a video of Bill Nye having an argument with, or a discussion with Tucker Carlson. So I don't know who that is. Must be some American fella. And it's just not good to see these guys like just destroy these people because it's
Why not?
well, it is, but at the same time, it's just sad. It's like watching a full-grown adult have a conversation with a child. You're just like, oh, come on now. Just let them sit in their little corner. But the problem with that is that they actually have power to change things, where they shouldn't. We should just sit all those skeptics in a corner and they can play with their little blocks and their coal and all the rest of it, while the adults can go and get busy running the world and stuff.
Yeah.
Also, it says a lot that there's an article here of George W. Bush breaks silence over Trump.
Right.
And this is like, he hasn't been in a lot of the news since coming out of politics. Most of the news about him after politics was this recent discovery at painting.
Yeah, I heard about that. I actually
leaving
thought
office.
that was kind of interesting.
After office, he just became a massive painter.
It's one of those things that... things like that kind of annoy me because I want to hate people like George Bush because it's just the whole time he was in office he was a horrible person basically, and then things like that add to the complexity of the character.
Yeah.
And whilst that is also intriguing, I also find it endearing, and I find it dangerous to find people like him endearing.
Yeah. Because it says like Bush replied that he is for an immigration policy that is welcoming and that upholds the law. And it said this reflects Bush's attempts to quell anti-Muslim sentiment after 9/11. So I don't know. I mean, I wasn't in America and I was too young to really know how that all went down. Because I was, 10 to 16 while he was in power.
Yeah.
Or 10 to 16, 17.
Oh, it's just messy around here.
What is it? I don't like the racism and I don't like the name calling and I don't like the people feeling alienated. Nobody likes that. On the other hand, we've been through these periods before. We've always had a way to come out of it. I'm more optimistic than some. It happens every time. People campaign and then the job's different when they get in there. And the job has a way of bringing a reality to each president's situation, and that's going to happen now.
See, that's a remarkably intelligent kind of... I suppose, like, he did become the president of the United States. It can't be a
Yeah, but
dumbass,
it sort of depends on how much Dick Cheney was behind all that.
Yeah.
Whereas Dick Cheney's sort of like the puppet master and Bush is... Yeah. So you think he would have picked someone who was a bit more happy. Although he was very good for his demographic. The whole, Jesus Christ is my favourite philosopher.
Yeah, well...
Just paints you as Bush as being this, what's the word? Like in the story, Dick Cheney's the evil puppet master, and then George W. Bush is just like, the friendly puppet.
Yeah.
Who's being used but doesn't really know, at which point there's a turning point and he realizes the horrible things that the puppet master's doing, and he's like, what are you doing? At which point the evil puppet master finally shows his claws and destroys the evil puppet for daring to come up against him.
Yeah.
At which point then the plucky heroes come along, whoever in this case. But yeah, it just sort of makes you wonder, doesn't it?
It'd be cool if you could grapple buildings. Yeah, and I also wonder sometimes with a lot of politicians just how much their party, etc., influences their personal appearance as well. Like, did he just look like a colossal ass because his entire party and cohort were asses?
Yeah. The faceless men behind the party.
Yeah, exactly. And whilst I still don't agree with the strong Christian sentiment, etc., that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a horrible person. Like,
they can be good Christians.
Yeah, exactly.
Or good religious people.
Yeah, and we have a mutual friend who's a Christian, quite a
friendly chap.
Yeah, a Christian. I know a Christian. That makes me cool.
No, it doesn't.
But yeah, it's just one of those things that just because you're a Christian doesn't mean that's a negative label necessarily. Oh, I found one.
Nice. And yeah, did you ever consider the media to be the enemy of the American people? And George W. Bush just laughed.
Consider the media to be the enemy.
Yeah, did you ever consider the media to be the enemy of the American people? At which point George W. Bush just sort of did a little laugh. And then proceeded to say, I consider the media to be indispensable to democracy. We need an independent media to hold people like me to account. Power can be very addictive and it can be corrosive. And it's important for the media to call to account people who abuse their power, whether it be here or elsewhere.
This is really annoying.
What?
There's a thing up the top.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
I want it.
Yeah, I'll find it later. I don't know if I've got enough upgrades to get it.
Oh! There's a chopper! Come here, chopper. Come here.
Get to the chopper! Oh, that was... Just, like, run off the building and then jump for it. Oh, shit! Oh, now I'm going to have to edit that so it's properly in place, you fool.
What? That was amazing.
No, he's calling a strike team.
Boom! What was that?
I think you sort of try holding it in. Do it now! Do it now! Quick! Quick! Oh, what the fuck? Why isn't it? Are you pressing circle? I mean B, not Y?
Oh. What? It was just a little bit of confusion.
So yeah, it's Bush avoided direct criticism of the current president. Oh, avoided direct criticism of the current president, okay. But his comments were far stronger than any he had made during the administration of former President Barack Obama. Bush said of Obama, he deserves my silence. There's plenty of critics in the arena. I think it's time for the ex-president to tap dance off the stage and let the current president have a go at solving the world's problems. That's his view of Obama.
That's a bit of a... I suppose it was the direct opposition. Like, obviously, he's... Yeah.
That was Bush's thing of Obama. You know, he got out of office, voted out. Obama was the new. If he had said anything bad, it would have just looked like a sore loser.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's best that he would just, that's relatively intelligent for Bush. Just step down and be quiet.
Oh!
Grab it. Make sure it's B.
I did.
Get him off!
Oh. Get him!
Look at that. Get out!
Yeah. That reminded me of the Hawkeye Initiative, if you know that. Where a bunch of people have redrawn Hawkeye from the Avengers.
Oh, okay.
As revealing clothing and poses as female characters.
Oh, maybe I have.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. How do I go down?
X?
Yeah!
Yeah, but Bush showed far less restraint with his opinions on and advice for Trump. One of the things I spent a lot of time doing was trying to convince a person like Vladimir Putin, for example, to accept the notion of an independent press. And it's kind of hard to tell others to have an independent free press when we're not willing to have one ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the other things, one of the opinions I came across of from the media's point of view was, yeah, he's slagging us off, but let's not prove him right.
Yeah.
So what we need to concentrate on is having really good, credible journalism and information. We can use this as an opportunity to improve the quality of what we're putting out there. So
that would be good.
Or only make him look worse.
To be perfectly honest with
Rather
you,
than-
we could use a revamp of the media at the moment.
Oh yeah, it is just this tabloid journalism is just ridiculous. And
So if anything, like, it would be so good if all of Trump's bullshit just produced a whole heap of good shit, just people trying to do better.
well, yeah, I mean, and the thing is media, like journalists used to pull some serious weight. You know what I mean? Like they used to start and end wars almost. You know what I mean? Yeah, they had some serious
Bloody, what's his
pulling
name?
power.
Oh, Richard Nixon. His whole bloody campaign or presidency came to an end after corruption was found out.
Yeah, exactly.
And if the media wasn't around, no one would have leaked that. No one would have done anything with it. He almost got prison time, Richard Nixon, until the next president. The next president pardoned him, which got a lot of backlash.
Pardoned him.
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
president
think
can
if
pardon
you're in
one
a
person.
position of power like that and you blatantly,
Yeah,
break the rules, if you blatantly act in a corrupt fashion, you should just get dragged over the coals.
yeah. Well, the thing is that I think that Richard Nixon did a deal with whoever his successor was to step down and the new person step up, and then Richard Nixon faced a whole heap of criminal, accusations and all the rest of it, and a lot of people in his party took a whole heap of, a lot of people went to jail for a lot of the corruption that happened there. And it came time.
They shot it.
Yeah, what a dick. It came time for him, and then the ex-president. I mean, the current president at the time said, "I veto," or whatever the word is. Help me think of the word, man.
What?
Absolve you of your crimes.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And a lot of people condemned that action, at which point that current president lost the next presidency, so he wasn't in there for a full term.
Oh, I didn't eat him. Sorry, I was concentrating on... Yeah, so he wasn't in... Yeah, I get you. I'm gonna die. Oh, crap.
Then run away!
I'm running!
So that's one of the big major reasons for him losing the next election. Was that. But a lot of people seem to, looking back in recent years, and, looking back on his time and his presidency, a lot of people, historians looking back on that particular decision, have condoned it. A lot of people think that a lot of people hated it at the time, but looking back on it, a lot of people think that it was the right thing to do. Sort of thing, you may not like it, but it was the right thing. That sort of hard decision sort of thing.
I suppose you'd have to know the details of it and the details of the corruption involved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't a good fella by any means. Richard Nixon has a lot to answer for a lot of things. But it was one of those things where some people seem to think it might have been the best scenario. Even though, I would have liked him to be punished, because I would like a lot of people to be punished, but smarter people than me said it was probably the right thing, then maybe it was the right thing.
Was it Nixon that got Alzheimer's, or was it...
No.
It was...
Margaret Thatcher.
No, it was an American male president.
Just give me a second.
Anyway.
If you can think of it.
There was Nixon and... Oh, who was... No, was Nixon the actor? No. Who was the actor? Oh, man. This is my lack of insight into American history coming to the fore.
Ronald Reagan?
Reagan. Yeah,
he's the one with Alzheimer's disease.
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard Nixon's dead.
See, for some reason in my mind, Nixon and Reagan are getting muddled up, and I think one of them
they're
had...
both dicks.
Yeah, maybe that's it. I think one of them had a speech arranged for one of the moon landings.
I think that might have been Nixon.
If it didn't go right, and apparently it's a good read. Actually, apparently it's a really good speech. If things had in fact gone horribly wrong.
It was Kennedy who I saw it. It was Kennedy who started the moon landings, but then he got assassinated, and I think it was Nixon that was there when it actually.
Yeah.
Richard Milhous Nixon.
Milhous.
Died after suffering a stroke.
Ah.
Yeah. And then died 4 days.
Given the stereotype of the American diet, I'm terribly surprised by that.
Nixon slipped into a deep coma and died 4 days later. I was sort of hoping for a bit more suffering than that. Oh. No, Ronald Reagan was the one who had Alzheimer's.
Yeah, because I think one of his quotes that I quite liked was, "It's not so bad. I get to meet new people every day."
Don't fucking
endear him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of this, Reagan economics and bullshit.
Yeah, I've no real idea on the details of anything that they did.
At age 70, Ronald Reagan was the oldest person ever to be inaugurated U.S. president.
Oh.
Known as the Great Communicator, he had a sense of humor that was legendary and sometimes targeted on his own age.
Reagan?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Well, he was an actor, so...
But some incidents weren't so funny. Santa Barbara Ranch, a reporter called out a question about arms control. Reagan answered, we are. Sounds like Tony Abbott.
Yeah.
His wife, Nancy, came to rescue, prompting him with a quiet, "We're doing the best we can." Smiling, Reagan called out loudly, "We're doing the best we can." This is in a report questioning whether or not Reagan had Alzheimer's during his presidency.
Yeah, well, I mean, it had to start somewhere. It probably did.
News broke that the administration had supplied weapons to Iran for a hostage exchange, and millions of dollars plus guns were routed to right-wing Contra guerrillas in whatever. Before Congress via video link from the Oval Office and asked what he knew about Iran-Contra, he said, "I don't recall, I don't remember that. I had so many meetings every day that I can't recall all of them." Many wonder if that was a cover-up, just, playing ignorance, or whether he actually did forget.
Yeah, well... could well have.
Reagan's memory was a political issue even before he became president. His adversaries often claimed his tendency to forget names and make contradictory statements was a sign of dementia. Reagan tended to substitute terms such as thing for specific nouns and favored using the same words repetitively. He used...
they killed it again! Sorry.
He used significantly... We're talking here.
Yeah, and playing.
He used significantly fewer unique words in the years toward the end of his presidency. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
President Ronald Reagan died of pneumonia, a complication of Alzheimer's disease, on June 5th, 2004. Yeah. A time after his death, Nancy Reagan released a statement. "I would like the world to know that President Ronald Reagan has died after 10 years of Alzheimer's disease at 93 years of age."
10 years, fuck.
The president himself announced in 1994, after he had left office, that he had the condition. Americans who will be afflicted with Alzheimer's disease. At the moment, I feel just fine. I intend to live the remainder of the years God gives me on this earth doing the things I love or I have always done. My father floundered his way through his responses, fumbling with notes uncharacteristically lost for words, the president's son, Ron Reagan Jr. said of a 1984 debate with Walter Mondale. He looked tired and bewildered. He gave a distant look with those milky eyes and shook my hand weakly. Oh my, he's gonzo, I thought. Whoever this Leslie Stahl. Reagan didn't seem to know who he was. Then Reagan regained his alertness and Stahl thought, I had come that close to reporting that Reagan was senile. Yeah, he may have had early stages of Alzheimer's when he was in when he was in the presidency.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how much of all his stuff was him, and how much it was people in the back.
Well, exactly. I mean, especially if he's in a susceptible sort of state like that, it does make you wonder, doesn't it?
People going, people. I would have to look up and see who was in his back party and all the rest of it. It's certainly possible for people to have used an Alzheimer's figurehead. Particularly with instances like that. Like, we look at... Maybe Tony Abbott's got early onset dementia. Oh, they killed it again. Oh, just stop sucking at the game. And,
What? I'm just wearing him down.
Oh, he's got a friend. Oh, that one's nearly done.
Oh, they... Did they?
No, he's still there.
Oh, I need to eat someone. I just threw them. Okay, run, buddy! Run!
Run!
Oh!
Run!
Those things are powerful, though.
No, I think you're just shit.
Yeah, I am. I am shit. I used to own these things when I was playing it regularly.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it does make you question sometimes how often leaders are actually chosen by governments and parties based on their malleability.
Yeah.
Oh,
that's why Kevin Rudd got kicked out.
Because he was a bit
too
headstrong.
Yeah, didn't listen to the party, and they were like, "Hey, listen to us, you young whippersnapper." A lot of white old men in the back here that want to have a say.
Well, that's one of the
things. But then Julia Gillard would have been a rough decision for that.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder why they would have picked her.
Yeah, well.
It's not like she wasn't headstrong.
Yeah, well, exactly. And it's kind of... Yeah. You do wonder how much... I mean, there's just so much, entrenched politics, guys that are just these career politicians that have been there forever, battling away to try and get ahead.
But have no idea how the real world works.
Yeah, exactly. They've been living off a politician's salary and stuff for so long, and stuck in this sort of
pencils and joke.
Yeah, in this sort of enclosed environment, and they just have no idea.
I mean, at least Kevin Rudd, I know, used to have manual jobs and all the rest of it. He used to clean houses for a living. Yeah,
exactly. It actually started off from a...
I think Kevin Rudd was probably one of our better prime ministers. But that's probably a controversial opinion.
I think he was. I think he would have just stayed in had...
Oh yeah,
it actually been up to the party
hadn't been just fucking... If the party hadn't just fucked around, we probably would have Kevin Rudd now.
Yeah.
Or maybe we would have elected Julia Gillard if Kevin Rudd had decided to step down.
Because
either one, but...
Even after all the bullshit, he still actually came fairly close up against Tony Abbott when he swung back around to having him back in again.
It wasn't like it was a landslide.
No.
Tony Abbott... I think my dad called it Tony Abbott nearly lost the unlosable election.
Yeah.
That if it had come out that Tony... there was another... I think it was Paul Keating. That Paul Keating won the unwinnable election or something.
Consume!
And so Tony Abbott would have lost the unlosable election.
Yeah.
If he had lost. And he nearly did. But no. Our country is full of morons. Apparently Subway is concerned that DNA tests show its chicken is more than 50% soy.
What? Why are they concerned?
Alright. Maybe people are upset at it.
The actual chicken products are like half soy protein.
Yes.
Yeah. It was a strange moment of frustration from you, Will. I'm not sure why you were...
No, I don't know why either. Boy stung by 400 bees used Dragon Ball Z techniques.
What?
Okay, it's a video, so let me just rewind it. A boy stung by 400 bees had Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z used Vegeta as inspiration to save his life. 11-year-old Andrew Kunz was stung by 400 bees in Phoenix, Arizona.
That's rough.
Yeah.
That's a lot of bees.
During his recovery, the boy used Dragon Ball Z for inspiration. What did he do? He kept thinking about Vegeta's full force power, or the Senkai boost, which is where a Saiyan gets a power up when they're close to death. When they're just about to die, and then they come back from the brink of death, their power goes up. And so he thought that, if he got onto the brink of death, then he might get stronger when he gets out.
Yeah, right.
Which I thought, that's pretty cool.
That is cool.
Yeah, the ability to increase power after a fatal injury. If you survive the fatal injury. Because, he survived. Not only was he stung by 400 bees, he's also allergic to bees.
Alright, the plot thickens.
And he's recovered.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
That's a feel-good story. Unless he was just being a little shit and poking the hive with the stick or something.
Yeah. Well, he could have been. He was 11.
Yeah, that's good.
That one I'm not sure about. Andrew Wilkie has introduced an entitlements crackdown. Hopefully that comes about.
Oh, on politicians.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I'm
oh, come on!
Not benefits. That's
a
different thing. Because Andrew Wilkie's an independent.
Yeah.
What's this Fukushima thing?
Yeah, Fukushima.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't know much about that. Do you? Or should we save this for a video when you're not playing, so you can focus?
Worst that happens is I die.
Fair enough.
Yeah, Fukushima.
Go on.
There was a tsunami.
Apart from your dad posting stuff, I don't know much about
my
it.
dad... No, I'm not going to say that. Is a lovely man. However, maybe slightly misinformed. So there was a big-ass tsunami, as most people probably know, that damaged the Fukushima reactor.
I remember that.
And it started leaking. And then they had to contain the Fukushima reactor, which meant them evacuating the area, etc.
Yeah.
And one of the sort of the interesting facts that's transpired from it is that more people died from being displaced and rehomed, through stress of being displaced, than actually died from the reactor. In fact, I think to date, maybe one person has died from the reactor, who was some old dude that volunteered to go in and because he knew the reactor and fix a particular problem, as I recall.
Oh, what a cool old man.
Yeah, but even then, I think he got some radiation poisoning, but
Well, he was an old man with radiation poisoning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but even then, a lot of people have been going on about how this thing's leaking into the Pacific Ocean, etc., and causing all this damage, etc. But I mean, it's one of the things. I've listened to a few podcasts on it, and
You can take him.
yeah, and most of the amount of radiation coming out of it is about the same as a microwave. So it's pretty tame and it's pretty well contained. It's a.
What if they're just telling us what we wanted to think?
Well, maybe, but I mean, these were sort of independent Australian scientists that were discussing it, and it was a second generation reactor as well, which are basically meltdown proof. They can't actually melt down like Chernobyl did. So
well, you would think that people would learn after all of that was decimated.
Oh yeah, and it's still going on.
Yeah. I was watching a documentary the other day on I think it was a mushroom farmer in the
A mushroom farm.
Yeah. A mushroom farmer in Chernobyl. This old lady that just fucking wanders around picking mushrooms.
Yeah, there was a couple that actually have
and won't leave because it was a home.
Yeah, an old couple that have moved back to the area, and stuff like that. Like, it's kind
weird.
Of. Oh no, he died.
And so many people have just like died. We're here to make a video.
Yeah.
So many people have just died, like just from patrolling. Because people are all there's like a big boundary line, and like they've got security guards patrolling it, keeping people from going in.
Yeah, and there's one particular building that's got the has got the uniforms that the first response firefighters were wearing.
And it's still got heaps of radiation.
And the radiation is just insane in it.
Makes you feel like I remember the figures of the people that died, like the first responders and all the rest of it was just like astounding.
Yeah, they're pretty crazy.
My brother's a big advocate for nuclear power.
It's one of those nuclear power is one of those things in that it's potentially way better than coal. Like it is cleaner, but I mean you still have to mine uranium.
Yeah.
And there are other sources which are potentially better than uranium for nuclear power, and obviously nuclear fusion is better than fission because these are fission reactors, not fusion reactors. And nuclear fusion is totally different and way cleaner. That's how the sun.
For the layman,
okay,
like myself.
So I'm trying to remember the details. So nuclear fusion is how the sun works. So under extreme conditions, elements are bombarded together to make new elements, and in that process, energy is released, which can be used for how nuclear reactors work in the same sort of way that they boil water with that energy, and the water turns the turbines. That's literally all they do. But the problem with fission reactors is that because they use the active decay of the reactive material to then use to boil the water, etc. And that's the sort of thing that gets a lot of people, is that it's this decaying material. Yeah, and yeah, so fusion clean, fission not so clean.
Because viewers will probably find it interesting. I certainly will.
Yeah, I'm trying to dredge up all the information about it out of the pit that is my mind. I can't. There's another element that, when enriched, actually performs a little better and cleaner than uranium does. So when they get uranium, at the moment, it's only about 5% efficiency. They only deplete it by 5%. They can't get it more. So you're left with this hideously radioactive waste. And that's got a, I can't remember the half-life of it, but it's a long time. Yeah. Well, so for instance, like just the uniforms of those firefighters are still radioactive. Like the half-life, it's been how many years? Like 50 odd years, and it still hasn't. Yeah, and it's still enough that if you sat in that room, it would kill you.
Fucking Jesus! So how far away is the suits? They'd have to be just like
they're just down in a basement, but you have to be like in the room with them.
Oh yeah. So they've got radioactive proof screening around it.
No.
How the fuck do they go down and test it then?
Well, just because people can just walk down there in their little suit with a Geiger counter and go, and test it. And and actually, there's a documentary about it, which is uranium. Was it Pulling the Dragon's Tail or something like that? And it's kind of the history of uranium, and it's really interesting.
It would be an interesting documentary.
Yeah,
It's certainly an apt name.
Yeah, and it sort of goes through all the stuff, all the people that first came in contact with uranium, and you're like, and from even a partially educated standpoint, you're like, oh, fuck, they did what?
What did they do?
It was in his pocket, Like,
oh, fuck.
No wonder they died,
I'll just wrap that in my hanky. It'll be all right.
Yeah, and So when it comes down to nuclear fission reactors, it's the waste that is ultimately the problem. Like the energy generation itself is really clean, because when you see them, they've got the massive smokestacks, but all of that is just steam coming off the turbines.
Okay.
So as far as the actual energy production, they're really, really clean. But you still have to mine uranium.
And dispose of the waste.
And the waste has its uses to a degree. Like heaps. Like most of the reactors in the world are actually for making medicinal isotopes.
Oh, yeah.
So the reactor that we have in Australia is for medicinal and scientific research. That's completely what it's dedicated to. So it's not that nuclear fission doesn't have its and nuclear reactors don't have their uses.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's ultimately the disposal of the waste which is the really big problem, because it's so
Isn't there like a
inefficient.
desert somewhere?
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, basically they stick it in these massive
and people
lead insulated containers and sit them somewhere. And yeah, somebody was proposing having a dump point down in South Australia, which said, this is the best place for it. And you're like, yeah, but fuck off. Basically, yeah. It's but fusion, nuclear fusion's a different kettle
After
of fish.
I passed the thing so well.
Yeah, nuclear fusion's really, really clean.
So what's the difference between, what are we mining instead of uranium, instead of the bad stuff?
Well, nuclear fusion, you don't need to mine.
Oh, okay.
Essentially,
why are we doing that?
Yeah, well, because it's a bit more tricky. But interesting fact, in Star Trek, in the new Star Trek, when they're gadding about down in the engine room, that is actually a fusion reactor. Like, it's a real fusion reactor in France.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah. So when they're in the reactor, that is actually a reactor. I thought that was awesome. Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, with fusion reactors, is they get hydrogen atoms, because hydrogen is the most basic element. It's always the first one. The sun burns off hydrogen and helium, because helium's the next one. So hydrogen gets built into helium because it gets compressed together until it lets off a whole bunch of energy from a whole bunch of shit that I don't understand, basically. And so they get hydrogen and they get deuterium, and deuterium is actually hydrogen, but it's got an extra. I think it's got an extra molecule in the nucleus or something like that.
Yeah, we're going to make a disclaimer here. Some of this information could be wrong, but I don't know.
Yeah. Everybody who knows anything about chemistry is going to say I'm batshit crazy.
Just write in the comments if you know anything about this stuff. If you don't and just feel like saying that's wrong, then fuck off.
Yeah, don't just say it's wrong. Tell
Constructive criticism.
Yeah, tell us what is right. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure it's like they get a deuterium and normal hydrogen, and they bombard them together until they fuse, and the sheer amount of energy released from that is what they use for boiling the water to turn the turbines to make electricity.
Yeah.
So it's
the law rubbers.
It's really clean, and I think basically the only byproduct you get is helium. Which we're running short of.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. I think that's how it goes. I might just have to have another look at that.
Just
but
a
it's
slight
an interesting.
disclaimer. I'm just going to, while we're doing this, I'm just going to drive between the lines and see about following the road rules.
Oh, you just.
That was an infected.
Okay. All right. Infected don't count. There's cars.
Oop.
It's an infected car. No.
Yeah, come on, out of the way, guys.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
There's one fusion reactor in France that
just get out of the way.
is at the stage where it is potentially commercially viable.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I mean, once they get those off the ground, then that'd be pretty crazy. But there's also, there is also the option of third, fourth generation nuclear fission reactors, which would be way more efficient.
Like you were talking about a second wave of nuclear generator. Oh, I think that was an infected. That's what I'm saying anyway. Was the Fukushima thing was a second generation?
Yeah, that was second generation, so it's pretty safe. It's got fail.
But they're still farming the terrible stuff or mining the terrible stuff.
Yeah, they're still. So that one, still requires uranium to fuel it, basically. It's a more efficient and safer generation of nuclear reactors.
But ultimately, they're still mining and disposing of heinous shit.
Yeah, exactly. So ultimately, they still rely on uranium, which has to be mined, and they still have nuclear radioactive waste that they have to dispose of or find something to do with. And at this point, we don't have enough for that much radioactive material to, we just don't know what the fuck to do with it. You can see images of tanks of this shit just sitting around. And I think one of the other problems that people have with there generally being a whole bunch of nuclear reactors sitting around is that depending on the reactor, they can be used to make weaponizable isotopes and stuff like that. That's just why everyone was chucking up a stinker by Iran, I think it was, trying to build a nuclear reactor, because they were like, no, they're just going to make nukes with it. Despite the fact that, for a developing country, nuclear power probably is one of the more efficient ways that they could generate relatively clean energy compared to coal. Because places like India and China are in shit because they've got too much coal.
Well, we don't, but America does.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we do. I assume we probably don't. We're probably, we own a few that are just in their bunker or something.
Probably.
Yeah.
You just keep ours for a bit.
Yeah. You hold on to it.
Why not they can have it? That's the whole point of nuclear deterrence. Ooh.
Yeah. But, I think, I kind of think the idea of nuclear deterrence is kind of a bit shit.
Yeah.
Because I think people like North Korea really don't care that much.
No. Well, it's obvious. They're always fucking testing missiles.
Yeah, well, that's right. They've started
Don't you fucking try and take over me.
Bit of a shit fight with, with Japan recently. They did some missile tests. But it's okay, because President Trump has said that he is 100% behind Japan and Korea. Well,
fucking great.
South Korea, not North Korea. Well, which is, I suppose, a plus, because, I'd rather him be behind them than North Korea.
Fair enough.
Yeah. But so, as far as that goes, go for nuclear fusion or good old-fashioned wind... Yeah, not fission. Fusion. Yeah. So think of fusing two atoms together as opposed to fission, which is just... Yeah. It's a bit more confusing with that. I can't...
Or wind power.
I can't try... Yeah, or wind power. Yeah. It's actually really interesting with uranium, the lineage of the element. So it starts off as a totally different element, but its half-life at that point is so short with those others that it breaks down fairly rapidly into a whole bunch of different stuff. And the end result is lead. once all the radioactiveness is gone, if you will. Personally, I am just constantly fucking confused about radioactivity. I do not understand that shit. I need to look into it a bit more.
You've spout, like, just rattled off a whole heap of information that I don't fucking understand.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy, like, the damage that radioactivity can have, like radiation, but, why is microwave radiation that we heat food up with is fine and dandy, but then, you go stick your foot in a reactor and, and that it can infect clothing, like the clothing is there, and just the clothing can kill you from, anyway, it's pretty crazy stuff. I would like to learn more.
Well, when we finish this video, I'm going to have to do some deleting, because it looks like we've got not enough space.
Not enough space?
Yeah, look up. Look in the right-hand corner.
Oh. Wow.
So that probably lend credence to doing the, just changing my account to the proper name, so I can just delete all those videos until I can get a hard drive to store all this stuff on.
Yeah, I might have a hard drive.
Oh, well, that works as well.
We'll see. Yeah.
Well, if you're finished explaining, then you can play for a bit longer.
Sweet. All right. Talk about another topic that doesn't require brain power.
Can do.
Or requires less. And again, to our listeners, please, more information about that would be awesome.
One of the attachments you shared is unavailable.
Ah.
There's a brand new wheelchair coming out.
Nice.
Check it out.
Oh, that's cool.
You sit in a chair, it comes up to you and you sort of sit in it, and then the chair stands you up once you're all strapped in. And you can strap yourself in using your hands and stuff.
You can stand up like people. Isn't that cute? Oh, I'm so horrible. Sorry for anybody out there with a horrible disability.
What else? Oh yeah, there's the Star Wars burlesque parody that you shared.
Oh yeah, I really, really want to see that. For all those people around the world, that is a beautiful, beautiful Australian creation.
It does look pretty cool. I don't know where they're oh damn. Fucking Boba Fett with 2 flamethrowers.
Yeah. They've got crazy pyrotechnics and stuff in it, and they actually got people who worked on the movies to help create the costumes.
Oh, nice. Oh man, I like that bit where the people are trying to what are the little sand people?
Yeah. Jawas.
Yeah, Jawas. They were taking the pieces off C-3PO, and so stripping her naked.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that. Oh, now we're in Jabba's palace. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, and there's Jabba, the director of the thing. We'll do this blessed. We do find like theme burlesque show. Oh, hello, sexy C-3PO.
I like how all the main characters are just women.
Yeah.
They're just centered all women. There's no... I think there are a few male dancers. And there are male performers like within other suits and costumes and stuff.
Fuck it.
It's pretty fun.
Fuck it, Jesus. That'd be an awesome show. A fucking full-on Chewbacca outfit. No, they actually brought in people who worked on the show.
Yeah, I just said that.
Oh, sorry, I was reading.
Yes, they brought in people that worked on the actual movies, which was pretty
Jesus,
awesome.
They've got a time or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think that like there's plenty of male performers, but they're all in suits and stuff, so you can't actually see them.
Yeah, they're the ones carrying the women on top of them.
Yeah. Happy International Women's Day.
Oh man,
we are just the bits of burden.
There was just a Leia cleaning a car, like one of the fancy cars. Oh lordy. I wonder where they're showing.
Oh,
well, look for... Just Google Star Wars Burlesque if you're in Australia.
They did do a show in Melbourne, and our friends down there wanted to go see it, and I was like, what? Why didn't you? Well, they didn't.
What a bunch of dicks.
Yeah. They were like, oh, no. We thought about seeing that. I was like, what is wrong with you? Why wouldn't you see that? And at first I was like, oh, I don't know, it sounds cool, but then I saw the production quality of it, with the full-on pyrotechnics and stuff. I was like yeah, alright, let's get amongst this. Yeah.
Alright, we better stop here so I can delete and make room. Alright. Okay, to end on this, we'll go for a funny joke that I heard the other day.
Oh, yes.
Now, for this, you'll need a little bit of visual representation. There was a picture of... there was a picture of Ben Kenobi doing the quote, "These marks are too accurate for sand people." And in the background, there was a photo of the Twin Towers.